and member of the House Subcommittee on Crime, Terrorism, and Homeland Security, Congressman Greg Steube. Mr. Congressman, we keep learning so much about Afghanistan, but then what? There's never any consequences. There haven't even been fall guys resigning from this. It just seems like nothing's changed in the Biden administration when everything's changed.
Yeah, Republicans have called for all of the people involved in this, the Department of Defense Secretary, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Milley, Secretary of State, all these individuals to resign. Quite frankly, Milley and others should stand trial for violations of the UCMJ, sedition, and other things. But that's not going to happen when Democrats are controlling Washington. They're just going to sit back and brush this under the rug. Afghanistan's not a thing anymore. You don't hear the mainstream media talking about the fact that we are here 2 months after the fact that Biden withdrew U.S. military forces from Afghanistan, and we have citizens stuck in that country. Not even to mention all of the SIVs who worked with us while we were deployed there for 20 years. Let's not even talk about them. Let's talk about the citizens who are trying to get back that the Biden administration left behind enemy lines to now deal with the Taliban, who releases terrorists, known terrorists. You can't tell me they didn't know what these terrorists were capable of and who they were. They absolutely knew who they were. ISIS has the same ideology as the Taliban and other Islamic extremist groups. They want to kill and commit jihad across the world. And so there's no surprise to people that know the security situation there in Afghanistan that this occurred. And it all happened under Joe Biden's watch. Don't let the leftists say, oh, Trump was going to let these people go. Oh, Trump negotiated with the Taliban. Trump had a conditions-based withdrawal that the moment they violated something like they have, there would have been consequences. There's no consequences under the Biden administration. It's just abandon our posts there and leave American citizens behind.
You are so right. President Trump had a plan. The Democrats had that plan, but they completely threw it out, didn't follow it at all. No Americans died under President Trump's watch. And yet when you look at this, these were preventable deaths from Biden. But as you said, the media doesn't cover it, even if they do cover certain reports coming out about the terrorist bomber. They cover it, and then there's not really that much outrage. There's no demanding consequences, demanding accountability. They're just simply reporting it pretty unemotionally.
Well, that's why Republicans like myself are working so hard to change the House makeup next fall for the Republicans to be in control, because then we can issue subpoenas. Then we can bring Milley and the Secretary of Defense and all these other people under oath before these committees and ask them these tough questions to get the intelligence that they had and to put them on the carpet for the decisions that they made. And the American citizens who, one, are still left behind enemy lines, and two, died because of their failure of leadership to make decisions that all of us would have known. If you'd have let these 2,000 individuals who were known terrorists out of a prison while we still had soldiers and individuals there in country, that something bad was going to happen.
How do you like the polls coming out now? Because you would think polls usually reflect what's in the news, what people are talking about. But every issue that the media is not talking about, the American people disapprove of Biden in the 60th percentile. This is a vast majority of people, whether it's Afghanistan, whether it's the border and immigration issues in general. The people are seeing through it, and they want accountability.
Absolutely. Afghanistan, the southern border, it's crisis after crisis, inflation of record numbers, the cost of goods when you go to the grocery store. I just was at Home Depot buying fertilizer, and the cost of fertilizer has doubled in price. I mean, you name the product or the commodity, and citizens are paying more because of the economic policies of this administration. And you're right. What's crazy to me is the 30-something% of people who actually approve of what the administration is doing right now, because there's nothing positive coming out of this administration right now. Everything's negative, and it has huge implications to what we believe in as Americans: a secure border, a strong and secure national defense. All of these things they're just leaving behind as they take control of our government.
It's such an unbelievable thing to see how quickly our country has changed in just a few months. But I want to talk to you before we go. Last week, you really were the hero of last week, leading the Republicans to victory. We all want a victory. We know we're going to get one next year. But you're a member of Congress. You could have actually been a pro baseball player.
I keep saying, if any of these pro teams want to reach out, I can part-time DH for a team and part-time congressman. But I think what we saw we won in September in the congressional baseball game, and we're going to win next November. And that's what we keep telling folks. Keep fighting the fight so that we can be successful and stop all this horrible policy that's coming out of the White House.
And win one for Save America, because your hat wearing that, again, it was very symbolic, as was the chants going on against Biden there. The people of this country are so motivated for next year. Thank you for the work that you're doing. In the meantime, even though it's discouraging, being in the minority in the House, you are in the majority with the people. So keep the faith, and we look forward to seeing you soon. God bless you, Congressman.